Okay, I've had a few people ask me to do a review of this kit, which is the DD-502. I've had it for over a year, so I kind of know all the different problems with it and the good things about it. It's a rebranded Medley kit, I think, which is some Japanese company. There's loads of different rebrands. There's like, I don't know, Guitar Center ones, Millennium, OSP and stuff like that. So I'll just take you on a rundown of the different aspects of it. The pads first. The heads you get with it are like this. They're kind of plasticky and have a little bit of felt on the inside. So what they're kind of loud. They're not like a real drum head, and I think my first one went after about 5 months. It tore, so I had to get new heads. I tried getting mesh heads, but you can't use those with these because inside the pads there's a little bit of foam, but then there's a big steel circle which is part of the sensor or whatever, and that can get damaged if you use a mesh head on it without specially modifying the pads. But so I bought Remo heads, just like they say you can buy them for it, and so far they've been pretty good. They get a fair amount of rebound, but I actually had they wouldn't tighten properly because the inside of it, the hoop ring wasn't it was too big, so I had to actually shave down all of the little screw holes on them to get them to actually tighten properly, or I'd be spinning around the place. Rebound is absolutely terrible. It's not very good. Like if you want to play something fast, if you want to use the finger technique, it's not going to work on these pads. Your arm will get too tired. Like if you try a mesh head kit or a practice pad, like you'll be able to do finger technique no problem, but with these you'll get too tired too fast. You can still use them, like it's good for learning how to practice, but if you're pretty extreme, you're going to want mesh heads. The acoustic sound of them is pretty loud, as I'm sure you can hear. It can get a bit annoying. There's not much you can do about that. You can modify them, put mesh heads on them, or you can just deal with the sound. They're very good at detecting hits though. I've never heard a dropped hit. Like if you're playing away as fast as you can, they're not going to drop any of the hits. It picks them all up, and the velocity sensitivity is fine. Next would be the cymbal pads. They're all the same. They're rubbery, and they don't have much of a bounce either. Not as much as a real metal cymbal. Acoustically, they go a bit quieter than the pads. They're still not silent. The sensor for them is in the very middle, like this. So if you hit there really fast, it drops loads of hits. And even if you go onto the sides, it still drops. If you go to the extremities and you still get the hit sound and they're not too fast, it'll pick up the 16ths. But they drop hits all the time. Because the crosstalk feedback on the brain is way too high, so they're not the best. Like if you're playing a lot of 16 stuff on the ride and everything, it's going to drop hits, it's a bit annoying. There's not much you can do about it. Other than that, they're good. Then the bass drum, it's really loud. It's not useful at all if you want to have a kit inside. Like I'll show you. It's like. And I've got a lot of stuff around mine. I've got like rugs and bricks to stop it moving and stuff. So overall it's a pretty loud kit for an electric kit. And the bass drum will slip across the floor if you haven't got something really heavy to stop it moving. And the hi-hat pad, hi-hat pedal, it's pretty good. I can't really think of any complaints. It's not velocity sensitive, it's just up or down, on or off, but it does the job. The rack's pretty cool. I haven't had any problems with it except with my cymbal here. I tightened it too much and the plastic broke. That was only in the last few weeks, so it's not really a big problem. There is a big problem with the kit, and that is the pads break, and so, all the pads break. What happens is there's two little wires connecting the sensor inside. And like at least, I don't know, 5 or 6 times those wires have just come disconnected, like from where they were soldered. So I've had to open up the pads and resolder those wires back in myself. I've had to do it to at least every single one of the pads once, like including the bass drum. So I'm not sure if just because this is just my kit or I haven't heard anybody else having that problem, but it's a bit annoying. But if you don't mind fixing that, it's an alright kit. Like it's the kit I learned to play drums on. Like it's I think it's one of the cheapest kits that you can get out there. So you wouldn't really expect much from it. If you don't really mind the odd repair now and then it's pretty good. It's lasted over a year with me. So the brain, I don't know if you can see, it's pretty good. I had a problem with mine, but I think it was just because I had it out here and it's pretty damp in here, so I got a replacement. This brain, this is the 502. I'm not sure if the newer ones are stereo, but all the sounds are mono, which can get a bit annoying because you can't pan the toms or anything like that. There's 2 auxiliary outputs, and they're handy. You can also use the headphones. There's 1 auxiliary stereo in. That's not stereo, it's mono in. And there's a MIDI out. I tried using the MIDI out before with the laptop drum module, but the latency was terrible, and that was due to the actual brain. Like, it hit this, and then like, I don't know, half a second later you'd hear the sound triggers, so it's kind of useless. I think that's everything. You can use the pads with different triggers. I have an Elise's trigger IO, which is it's basically, it converts the signals from these into MIDI signals, and then goes into the laptop. And it sounds really good because you get BFD 1.5 with it, which is basically the same thing as Drumkit from Hell. And you can customize all the things, all different. You can do panning. You can choose where the mic is around the snare. You can change what you want, like velocity curves, crosstalk. You can adjust all that with the Elise's and the BFD. You should really get it if you're not happy with the sounds of that brain. You'd definitely be happy with the Elise's trigger. And the bass drum you can use any kind of pedal with. It takes normal bass drum pedals. I have an Iron Cobra on it at the moment and it looks fine. Even if it's actually a pretty big pad, so even if you have the beaters pretty far apart, it'll still work fine. I've never had any dropped hits off that either, so I think that's about it. If you have any other questions about it, you can let me know.